National Security Minister Edmund Dillon has got the support of the Trinidad and Tobago-based lawyer who was instrumental in securing the transfer of the now controversial property in New York. Questions have been raised about alleged corrupt dealing involving Mr. Dillon. But today, attorney Farid Schoon, in a press conference representing his colleague and friend Ernest Wilson, said Mr. Wilson did his part above board and without corruption. Ian Wayson has more.
Attorney Farid Schoon is defending his colleague over allegations of trying to defraud 86-year-old Neville Piper of a New York property. At his law office in Port of Spain on Wednesday, he said his colleague Ernest Wilson did confirm that Mr. Piper was a friend of Edmund Dillon before he began the proceedings to make the transfer. He also confirmed that although Mr. Piper was well along in age, he was fully aware of what the transaction was all about. Mr. Dillon will be made part owner with Mr. Piper until one part of the ownership dies. Then the other partner will have sole ownership of the property.
To which Mr. Piper told him to the effect that he was an old man, that he had been abandoned by his relatives. No one saw him. His brothers had predeceased him. He had one existing sibling who was living in England, who was almost as old as he was. He was lonely. All that the persons who knew him wanted from him was his money.
Addressing the allegations, Mr. Schoon said the alleged report of a forged signature was based on another signature of Mr. Piper from 2 years before.
Among the allegations that he made is that the deed had a forged signature on it. Mr. Wilson completely and categorically denies that. Mr. Piper signed the deed on August 25th, 2017 in his apartment.
He said the other allegation regarding the moving of money from one account to another was simple.
Is that as far as we are aware, the allegation only concerns shifting of money between the accounts of Mr. Piper, not the taking out of the money from any account of Mr. Piper.
The court matter in the U.S. was adjourned to April 4th. Ian Wayson, C News.